A mental patient has clues to recent murders, but he speaks in riddles. To Reyes, the crimes have the hallmarks of a satanic cult.
To Doggett, this guy is playing them for fools. If this is a battle of wits, who will come out on top?
This is not happening.
Or, more appropriately, Mike, if this is a game of Scrabble, who will come out on top?
I don't know. Daemonicus is a fantastic word. That's a lot of points. A lot of points. Not even possible, is it?
Not as many as you might think.
No?
I mean, it's pretty good, but you technically cannot make that word because you only get 7 tiles.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. There would have to be the input of a letter or two beforehand.
I don't know how you would get there, but yeah, it's this is a Frank Spotnitz episode.
Mm-hmm.
Written and directed by. This is his second time doing this. Do you remember offhand what the first Frank Spotnitz written and directed by was?
Medusa, right?
No.
Oh, Field Trip. Field Trip?
No.
Well, he wrote Field Trip.
You can insert some sound effects in there, right?
Maybe. I won't.
I won't, but I could.
All right, which one is it?
The other Frank Spotnitz written and directed by episode was Alone.
There
we go.
We're not at the end of the season yet. I know you want to be.
Yeah, so this is him, and apparently he's got a thing for vomit, so we're going to see that in this episode.
Oh, the vomit scene. Classic.
It's like it never ends.
I was just going to say, how much liquid do they need for that?
Yeah.
They've got barrels outside the window there in that room.
That's how we did it.
Piped in.
But James Remar, worth talking about.
Absolutely. The original Hicks, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I wondered if you would go there. And yes, you went there. Very good. That is, of course, his claim to fame. He has no other stage or film presence.
All anyone knows him from getting fired off Aliens. No, great actor. I actually like seeing him, and I do appreciate him. In this episode, he's one of those actors for me that his voice does a lot of work. I really enjoy listening to James Remar.
That is a 3-pack-a-day smoker voice right there.
Yes.
There's a lot of living in that voice. Now, he is more notably known as the father of Dexter in that show.
Oh, I did not know that.
So,
I've never
in
seen
terms of
Dexter.
roles that he has done as opposed to roles that he didn't do, that is a better way to recognize him. But yeah, I think they've been circling around getting him on the show for a while. So it's nice that they put him in this. I'll say it's a bit of a stretch for me. I think that there are probably other actors who would have done it better. But I think he certainly gave it his all. I did not see him holding back on this one. I should say for Frank Spotnitz, this is his third credit as a writer. So he's, apart from being obviously a heavy part of all of the shows, but for a script of his own design, this is his third.
Okay.
So maybe those others that you referenced.
Yeah, the others he definitely was huge part in. Maybe I got confused. I thought for obvious reasons, I thought he did Medusa himself, but he did not direct that. You are correct.
Right. Well, is it time for us to play a game? Are you ready to play?
I want to play a game.
Would you like to play a game?
I just watched Saw the other day too.
Oh yeah, it's all game related.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Let's dive into Daemonicus.
No, we're not diving in. There's no nautical stuff. Oh well, the very end.
It opens with a puddle, a very bad CGI puddle of a moon.
Shall we dive into the puddle?
Yes.
Is that what we're?
Because that's about how deep this gets.
Oof! Ouch. Okay, tell me what you really think.
I'm sorry. That was harsh.
Mike, we open at night in Weston, West Virginia, as a white pickup truck drives onto the grass, a short distance from family home. Inside the home, a dog is clearly aware and not liking that truck, scratching at the door. The dog's owners, Evelyn and Darren Mountjoy, tell him to stop it as they look up from their game of Scrabble. Evelyn goes over to check out what's got the dog so fussed up, telling Darren not to peek at her letters. Darren peeks at her letters. As Evelyn lets the dog out, not seeing the source of the problem, Darren goes on to make the word triumphs. Now, I know a lot of you are very concerned about the actual point value that Darren received in that moment because their game is about to get very rudely interrupted. So I'm going to break it down for you. Darren has placed the T on a double letter score, which is not great. T only scores 1, so that'll be worth 2. It's also worth noting he won't get to reuse the double letter score of S from the word sandbox to which his word is attached, but the U is a double word score, which will double the value of his word 16 to make that 32 points. Plus the 50-point bonus for using all of his letters for a total of 72 points. That is a pretty good score.
It is a fantastic score. I'm not... I think I'm intelligent, and I have a pretty good vocabulary, but I don't seem to have a lot of luck with Scrabble, so this kind of move is... He's lucky. That's a good move.
I don't know whether it's complete luck or whether, while she was away, he actually, swapped out some of his letters. Like the whole don't peek at my letters thing, I don't know if that actually gives you much of an advantage in Scrabble, but it's a nice shtick, I suppose.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know what you might have also been thinking, Mike. He could have used the triple word score above the E in Requiem to make the word prime, but that's only worth 36 points. So he clearly made the right move.
Yeah.
And you can't use that W. I really looked hard at what the word you could make with triumphs was to get the other triple. You can't. You just can't get there. So there's been a lot of research into Scrabble for this.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Outside, the dogs bark some more. The barking ends in a squeal, and then the lights go out. Evelyn is frightened. Darren goes upstairs after telling her to get in the basement. After we see him go upstairs, a gloved hand grabs Evelyn's mouth. Darren descends the stairs, gun in hand, only to be confronted by an ominous silhouette after he wants the figure to stop, and it doesn't. He fires twice, only to be shocked to discover that it is in fact Evelyn. He shot the love of his life. As he trembles by her cooling corpse, 2 demonic figures amble over to him, and we fade to credits.
Oh my God.
Oh, I know. How did that opening grab you?
I'm okay with it. It's a little bit more low-key than perhaps we're used to for the X-Files. Not a lot of action, a lot of presumption and assuming of what's going on. But yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it.
It prompts questions, which we're going to want answers to. So I'm fine with that. Now, I'm not sure what I think of Evelyn ambling towards the gun. Is it possible she's already being mind controlled in this moment, or she's dumb?
The conceit is that they are persuading her in some sense. So probably under threat of gunshot or other means of death, they're telling her to walk forward.
Yeah, okay. Go with that. We return to see Agent Reyes arriving at the crime scene during the day, flashing her badge as we see the house surrounded by law enforcement. Inside, we have the trappings of a crime scene, yellow tape, police photographer. The bodies of Darren and Evelyn are sitting at the same table on which the Scrabble board is set up. Evelyn now holds the gun, and we see Darren's head has a nasty exit wound. On the Scrabble board, a single word, Daemonicus, 36 points. Reyes examines the board, pressing down on the letter D and noting that the ceiling fan above her stops when she does so. Agent Dog arrives, breaking her out of her reverie, and the ceiling fan continues.
Find you inside.
Yeah, I was out back talking to the detective in charge. You're the expert here, Monica. Everyone's waiting to hear what you have to say on this.
What do we know?
Darren and Evelyn Mountjoy married 32 years, 3 kids, 5 grandkids. Not an enemy in the world. That's their dog out front. Neck's broken. By the footprints in the mud, best guess is we're looking for 2 perps.
Nothing stolen from the house. Nothing at all to suggest motive.
Well, that all fits the profile, right? This thing is staged to look like some kind of satanic ritual.
Placing victims in a murder-suicide posture is ritualistic. And this word is undoubtedly satanic.
Daemonicus.
It means Satan in Latin. Or Daemonicus. Demon possession.
And it's worth 50 extra points. That's why they were posed like this, so we'd think that these folks were possessed, right?
That would be the textbook explanation.
Now let them know.
This may be something else.
Which is what? Hey, you say anything you want about satanic ritual, but don't tell me you think the devil did this, because we got prints on the lawn out there. This case ain't even close to being an X-file.
Something strange happened in here just before you came in. I can't explain it.
What?
The medic has pulled away from Evelyn's body in pain, leading Doggett to investigate. Pulling away Evelyn's cardigan reveals holes in her body from which 2 small snakes emerge. Oh, damn, Mike. Snake bites.
Slithery snakes.
Slithery snakes. Well, what do you think there? I should note before we get into it, just to follow up on the Scrabble-related motif, Daemonicus would not qualify for 50 bonus points because you can never place 10 tiles, and you only get the bonus points when you place 7 tiles. And it also doesn't mean Satan in Latin, but other than that, it's a pretty good little scene.
Yeah, I'm okay with the scene. I like the immediate tension between her and Doggett. She's convinced something's going on, and he is ready to move on with his day.
I want to disbelieve, I believe should be his poster.
Okay. So before we get started, as that scene was playing, I was reminded of yet another thing that we need to talk about. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we started recording season 9, I asked Andrew to listen or pay attention to the episodes for something off. Okay, something off about this season. Not the quality of writing. That's not what I'm talking about.
I am not sure whether you should tell me now, to be fair. Maybe it'll be something that I do find in future episodes. Because I have been paying attention. I have been listening, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, okay, to that question, I know you said you've watched ahead last week. You've almost all the way fully through the season. Have you finished?
Not in the slightest, not fully. I'm like a couple of pages ahead in the textbook right now.
Okay. Well, that's up to you then. If you don't want me to bring it up, this was one other thing. This is not what I was talking about, but I'll mention this. Right. There is a noticeable shift in Doggett's voice. I don't know if you've noticed that by chance, but from season 8 to season 9, his pitch changes. I don't know if it's the recording that they use, the footage that they used, but whatever it is, either he had throat surgery or something, but he has a lot deeper of a voice in season 8 compared to season 9. That's just a thing I've noticed, but that is not what I was going to mention. So if you want me to hold on to that one, I will do that, sir.
I think you'll have to hold on to that one. And honestly, I think you need to do a side-by-side comparison. You should drop it into this episode because I don't know if I do hear that, to be fair. I mean, I think he is more emphatic when he acts. He's a bit rangier, but in terms of how he speaks, like he is still emulating New York.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think this is just the pitch of his voice. Okay. I don't know if they happen to record it slightly faster than before, but there is a noticeable difference for me. Okay. And that's not a negative. I'm just saying that's something I noticed. Okay. But I will hang on to the one thing I was talking about.
The other thing.
Some friends, just curious.
I'm not here to be a curiosity agent, Doggett. I'm here to work.
I am too, Agent Scully. I've been here all weekend, and early this morning I went over every X-file in that cabinet there. You're the expert here, Monica. Everyone's waiting to hear what you have to say on this.
What do we know?
Darren and Evelyn Mountjoy, married 32 years, 3 kids, 5 grandkids, not an enemy in the world.
Wow, listen to that, Mike. You're absolutely right. There is a noticeable difference between the two. That's really interesting. I wish I had sort of paid attention to that. Interesting points.
Overall, good scene. I like the immediate pushing against each other of our 2 agents. Yep. So,
the snakes, are they CGI? Are they real?
I think those are real.
I think they are too, actually. It's probably not too hard to do that effect.
Yeah,
Probably a lot easier than 2001 CGI to do that effect.
Yeah, that one looks pretty real. Plus the one on the right kind of turns around and bites the chest, or nudges it at least. It looks pretty real. I think that's real.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go to Quantico to bring in our third agent, one of the main characters of the show. Scully is now teaching forensic pathology at the FBI Training Academy. She gets a little pushback about her history at the X-Files, but she pushes back herself with some comments on how men are evil and science is the route to solving crimes. Yada, yada, yada. We see Doggett arrive. He clearly wants her input on the whole snake thing. Reyes has arrived, and she sees an autopsy in progress. Scully reveals that Evelyn was bound, and Darren was tricked into shooting her. Evidence of fingerprint bruising suggests that Darren was held down and shot, posed to make it look like Evelyn shot him. The snakes were collected locally, but all that is not enough. Scully prods Monica to know what she's feeling. Monica reveals she felt like she was in the presence of pure evil. Doggett gets a phone call, which conveniently removes him from the scene, so Reyes and Scully can have a heart-to-heart about feeling the evil. Scully advises her to trust her instincts. Doggett, off his call, learns that an escaped mental patient might be the cause. Okay, we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. Not sure how I feel about this. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a good turn for Scully. I think that was a smart move.
Yeah.
Kind of keep her on the show as a side character consultant for the X-Files. I think that was actually a smart move for them.
Yeah. 2 or 3 actual shooting days only.
Yeah. I think, obviously, she's on the way out. So this was a smart way to sideline her without actually kicking her off the show this season.
Yep.
But it would help explain maybe where she goes if they had another season.
So we cut to a sky of fast-moving clouds as it tracks over the white pickup. The pickup stops and 2 men get out, taking their rubber masks and a length of rope with them. A cute wipe cut brings us to the rural outskirts of Chespin State Mental Hospital in Kitsonville, West Virginia, where Reyes and Doggett walk with Dr. Monique Sampson. Dr. Sampson describes their likely perk. An inmate named Richmond was a doctor. Dr. Richmond was committed there because he killed 3 patients, sewing strychnine tablets into their stomach lining during surgery. When Reyes revealed that two men committed the crime, Dr. Sampson does not have any information to offer. Reyes decides to completely alienate herself from Dr. Sampson, asking if Dr. Richmond might have suffered from demonic possession. And when Dr. Sampson clearly makes her position on possession known, Reyes goes even further, leading Dr. Sampson to go check on something. Doggett pokes Reyes on it, but Reyes is like a dog with a bone when it comes to satanic ritual. And when Dr. Sampson comes back with their new lead, Dr. Richmond's accomplice might be Paul Gerlach, a guard who is now missing. And to cap the scene, Reyes asks who last saw Paul Gerlach. And the camera gives us a top-down shot of the checkerboard floor of Chespin State Mental Hospital. The trio leave to go talk to that person, the scene fading out to our 2 perps as they walk through the bush. Now, before we go, though, I do like the game's symbology that Spotnitz is using through this.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
A lot of it. I would say it's a little much at times. But I do like it. I think it would just a little more subtlety.
A little more subtle. Well, it's just on the nose enough, but
I'm fine with the wipe. That's fine. They've never done that before. I don't think there's another episode on file that does a wipe like that, which is fine.
Triangle. That they play with wipes in there.
Well, they do quick cuts and things like that, but I'm talking like the obvious 2-layer video fading in and out.
Oh, yeah. That's
TV
definitely
graphics
an effect to make it look a bit spooky. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm fine with that, and I am fine with the game aspect. Obviously, it's part of the episode.
Yeah.
I think they could do with like 1 or 2 less, just to, I get it, Frank, and we're 10 minutes into the episode.
Well, as much as he's a producer of the show, he's never had the responsibility of coming up with an episode solely on his own, or maybe, the responsibility of doing it. He's been able to massage it and certainly produce it to make it look a certain way. But when it's all on your shoulders and you gotta You got to do everything. I can't imagine that's easy. So,
No, absolutely not.
yeah, I think he did fine.
Absolutely.
So our two perps walk along. One of them's carrying a rope until he feels like they've reached the end of the line. The other guy stops, turning around so they can look at each other in their scary masks. First guy pulls a gun, pointing it at the other, who looks on passively. And the first demon fires, and we fade to white. So I guess demons do that to each other, shoot each other
So
with
what do
guns.
you think is happening here?
Having seen the episode looking back, or what did I think at the time?
Well, at the time, what did you think was happening? Or did you think anything? You're just kind of along for the ride at this point.
I didn't really have a lot of information we haven't even met our main antagonist yet. So really all you know is that you've got these guys who appear to be under a spell. Like they're acting without words. They seem to be directing themselves through some unknown motive. We don't know why they're doing what they're doing. So it's still just a bit of a mystery. And why one of them is killing the other and the other's just sitting there taking it. That's completely strange stuff. So it's just adding to the sense of mystery. You're sitting there hoping it's going to be explained satisfactorily. Whether it is or not, you're going to find out. So we cut back to a padded cell where Joseph Kobold, James Remar, kneels in thought. Doggett Reyes enter to ask Kobold about his neighbor who has recently escaped.
Mr. Kobold, my name is John Doggett. This is Monica Reyes. We're with the FBI.
The patient in the cell next to yours escaped last night. Did you see or hear anything? You shared the same guard, Mr. Kobold. Do you know anything about their relationship? Why he would have helped him to escape?
You mean, did the guard force the patient to escape? Or did the patient force the guard? Or are they both of one mind? Like a snake, eating its own tail.
You know something about this, Mr. Kobold? If you do, we need your help to stop them before they hurt more people.
You're too late for that.
If you're afraid to help us, Mr. Kobold, we can protect you. No harm will come to you.
Do you believe in the power of the devil, Mr. Doggett?
I believe that the devil's a story made up to scare people.
Then how can you possibly protect me?
Well, later, back in the woods, it's night as the camera tracks across the front of a white pickup, where a man cleans his bloody hands. The man, wearing his demon mask, sits passively in the bed of the truck, creepily illuminated from below, as we hear ethereal voices. A compelling crossfade places Kobold's face over the demons, and we're back with Kobold, who is uttering satanic words quietly, and we fade to black. Okay, so now we've got our bad guy. And I think they are making it pretty damn clear who this guy is.
Yep. Why is he casting spells over these two men? Elaborate game?
It must be some kind of elaborate game of Scrabble. He uses the Scrabble board to cast his spells.
Forget Ouija boards, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, they are nothing. So when we come back from commercial, Dr. Sampson is leading Doggett and Reyes back to Kobold's cell. He's been very agitated and calling out for Agent Doggett. They enter his padded cell where he's strapped to a gurney and shaking. Kobold says, "He's speaking to me, whispering in my ear." Reyes asks who, to which Kobold says, "I don't know, but I can show you." We cut to the forest trail, 3 police cruisers arriving. Kobold is brought out of a car in chains, happy at the prospect of being outside of his padded cell. Doggett does not let him go with them, as they go to check out the path that Kobold has indicated. And as they walk, Doggett clearly doesn't buy Kobold's performance, where Reyes is more open to the possibility. As they turn a corner, Reyes sees it first, the hanging, bloody body of Paul Gerlach. So, is this a bad thing? Is this a murder? If Gerlach was participating in the first crime?
I mean, it is a murder.
Yes.
But he he is a villain for sure. So right now it's like, okay, so these 3 people are involved in this series of events, and now one of them has been forced to kill another.
Yes.
Kind of like the husband being forced, quote unquote, to kill the wife. Fooled into it, or tricked, or whatever. But yeah,
some kind of trick.
Some kind of trick.
Back at Quantico, Scully cuts away the demon mask to reveal the man's face. Doggett and Reyes go over what they know and add a dash of theorization. There's an allusion to St. Peter, who was crucified upside down, which Reyes uses as proof that there's a satanic angle, citing the literature. But Doggett is not convinced. He thinks Kobold planned it, rather than having any particular powers that let him be psychically aware of it. We learn of Kobold's history, a former history professor, convicting of killing 6 co-eds and grinding their flesh to use as fertilizer in his garden bed. Scully doesn't add much to the scene, leaving Reyes to go and prove that Kobold can help them. So it's interesting that they're definitely sort of shifting the focus away from Scully. Like they are...
Oh, yeah.
Really just dropping her in for a little bit of nostalgia, a little bit of autopsy, medical stuff when we need it. But ultimately, she is on the outside looking in for these cases.
Doggett and Reyes show. Yep.
Yeah, and that's fine by me, actually. I don't think we need Scully in this episode.
No, I think she is there to almost as if like she's a sounding board for both agents. I like seeing her, but
yeah,
not 100%
a little bit of here's an idea. Here's something that they could have done.
Okay.
Although they still had Mitch Pileggi kicking around, right? So I guess they couldn't have. I would have liked to see Scully go up in the command chain. I think that would have been a more interesting role for her.
Okay.
She could have been like an assistant director promoted internally.
They throw Skinner in jail for killing Krychek.
For murdering Alex Krychek. That would have been cool, actually. Make him like on the outside. He's a free agent now. He's doing his shit.
He picks up the mantle of Krychek. Krychek's soul absorbs into him. Just,
No. Yeah, but I guess Chris Carter would never see a woman running the FBI somehow.
Whoa. Damn, I don't know that I'd go that far. Chris
well,
Carter,
listen, they've had 2 female directors through 9 seasons. What does that tell you?
I'm not going to lay that at Chris Carter's feet. Not saying he has nothing to do with it, but I would put that on the studio.
Okay.
Mostly.
Let's move on. Move on.
Fox is the unflinchingly evil corporation all the time. And it doesn't just start here or end here. They've got a whole list of grievances. So I don't even care.
Fair. Okay.
I'm happy to lay it at their feet.
You're going to lay it at their feet. Okay, that's fine. Well, we're going to cut to more cinematic clouds raging across the sky and a quick crossfade to Kobold, visited again by Reyes and Doggett. Reyes impresses upon Kobold their need for his help, but he says he can't help in his padded cell. He needs a larger room so he can hear the voices. And a view out the window. And a nice comfy bed and some Campbell's soup, please. That'd be great.
Yes, please.
Reyes and Doggett leave, who cautions her that he's faking. But Reyes can't take the chance there isn't something here. Outside, we see Dr. Sampson leaving her black Subaru, ominously tailed by the white pickup. We come back to Kobold in his larger room, where Doggett arrives, introducing Kobold to his new guard, Officer Custer. Kobold pushes at Doggett's denier personality, going on to recount much of Doggett's backstory and allude to his personal tragedy. He also alludes to a pining after Scully, so this is all getting under Doggett's skin, and he's just about to leave when Kobold starts having a fit. The sound of ethereal voices in the background. Doggett tells Custer to get Reyes. So I didn't think that the voices were anything more than sort of
audio,
like ambiance for the episode.
Mm-hmm.
But Reyes later is going to indicate that she heard the voices. So do you think that Doggett is hearing the voices too?
I would venture to say yes. Because every time he's casting a spell or whatever, I think they're playing. So I'm fine with the idea that Doggett hears it. Obviously, he's going to do whatever he can to discount whatever he's hearing or seeing. in these instances. So, yeah, I would believe he's hearing it.
I almost wish that they didn't have Reyes say that she heard them, because
then it calls it into question.
Yeah, it's actual evidence of the paranormal. Whereas, for Doggett, he's either off stage when paranormal happens, which is convenient, or it's not paranormal enough to raise a flag, so it's never enough to get him on board. So anyway,
we're 9 seasons in, and that type of problem, if it happened the way you're describing, par for the course. Either it's Scully or Doggett.
Yep.
Arriving just too late or refusing to believe something that they're clearly seeing or hearing. So
Doggett is the Snuffleupagus.
Yes.
Well, we are going to cut back to Dr. Sampson, who's arriving at home after a long day at the office. But outside, we see the white pickup roll up, which we know is very bad news for Dr. Sampson.
Uh-oh.
Back at Kobold's cell, a medic administers a sedative as Kobold groans out a word, medicus, which Reyes interprets as physician. Back to Dr. Sampson's house, the white pickup pulls away as a line of police cars arrive, lights and sirens blaring. Officers and our heroes rush into the house to try and find Sampson, but it is no use. Reyes finds her motionless at her desk. They do the classic cinematic reveal, turning Dr. Sampson in her swivel chair to show us that Sampson's face has been injected with dozens of syringes as we cut to commercial. So this is a karma death, would you say? This is
karma death? I guess. Is she evil?
I don't think so. I guess we're not supposed to like her because she discounts Reyes, but...
Yeah, but that's not enough to kill her.
It certainly is not.
But she is the quote-unquote non-believer of the episode, however lightly she non-believes or disbelieves.
Nothing in the episode justifies her death.
No. We do feel bad for her. She did not deserve to die.
Yeah.
It's that time, everyone. The Magus Media Production sales pitch. Please check out our homepage at magusmediaproductions.net so you can stay up to date on all of our shows. Check out our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Magus Media Productions, both of which have our Discord link on it, where you can join us for live shows as we record them for future release. At Magus Media Prods on X, our Patreon, patreon.com/Magus Media, where a $5 donation will help us keep the lights on and bringing you new content, and you get some stickers. Thank you for your consideration and support.
We come back from commercial with Dr. Sampson's body being taken away by a coroner, and Scully steps up to Doggett to reveal that Dr. Sampson was injected with droperidol, an actual drug. Looked it up. It's an antipsychotic that Dr. Sampson was using to treat Dr. Richmond, so hey, he thinks it's karma.
Damn.
As Kobold looks on from the back of a police cruiser, Doggett and Scully get into it. Doggett thinks Kobold is directing this ongoing tragedy, but it's not about demonic possession. Scully cautions him to be open to possibility, but no one is going to change Don Doggett's mind. The scene ends with Kobold looking on ominously as Doggett walks off. And I think it's worth asking, who has the name Kobold? Like, that is not a name anybody has.
What? That's a hang up for you, or
we know how this show is about names. Like
I'm fine with Kobold in comparison to Hang a Mule, and I don't know. There are a few others, but
there are definitely some. Stonocipher.
Stonocipher, yeah. Kobold is one of the least offensive names they could come up with.
And for the entire episode, until I saw the transcript, I thought his name was Kobold, like computer language, Cobl.
Right.
Okay, Kobold, sure.
Isn't Kobold?
It's literally like the Dungeons and Dragons monster.
I was just gonna say monster. I thought it was a D&D monster. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we just answered the question.
Oh, okay. What's that?
Game related. So he's throwing in a cute little nod to
he's role playing.
Hold on. In the 70s and 80s, it was a cult feared game, and people thought it was actually satanically influenced. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I would not be surprised if that's what that's. I didn't even think of that until now.
That is a stretch.
Given all the other game references and how much this has to do with quote unquote Satanism, I think that's a valid assumption.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think?
Okay. I'm sure the comments are going to light up on that one.
Feel free to text us on our Facebook page.
That's right. All right, moving on. We cut back to the mental hospital. Officer Custer coming in to take Kobold's meal away. Doggett arrives with a file. It's a monograph Kobold wrote 6 years ago describing the influence of Satan in Renaissance thinking, a.k.a. a smoking gun of Kobold's complicity.
You planned this whole thing. I want to know why.
I've been thinking a lot about you, Agent Doggett.
You're not answering my question, Professor.
About why someone so ill-suited would draw this duty. Clearly you have feelings for her.
You ordered Dr. Richmond to kill these people, didn't you?
But you can't compete with the long-lost Agent Mulder. His easy good looks, his Oxford education.
This is about you, Professor.
Mulder has what you can't have. But you stumble forward, the flat-footed cop, thinking he can put handcuffs on Dean.
Answer the question!
You want her, but she feels sorry for you. They both do.
Doggett grabs Kobold, angered by
dare
his
you.
comments. But suddenly, Kobold vomits orange goo, spraying liberally over Doggett's suit. It's a long, indulgent scene of orange vomiting, long enough to make its point that something is very off with Mr. Kobold. Meanwhile, Doggett calls out for the guard as Kobold vomits and vomits and vomits. So,
Wow.
this is a technical triumph. They literally ran a pipe up Remar's sort of behind his clothes and up beside his face so they could just project out as much vomit as they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't
They
have to
made
vomit
use of
anything,
it.
apparently.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Do we... And I'm okay with the vomit. I'm not complaining about it.
Sure.
I'm concerned about the length of it. The almost comedic
Yes.
Benny Hillified version of it that we get. It's almost like you buy a DVD and the scene is extended as a bonus.
Mhm.
Like it should have been cut off about halfway through what we get. And what we're watching right now is the extended edition. I don't know.
Yeah, and he's like rolling over and flopping in it. It's like
Flops
what the
into
hell?
it and he's writhing around.
Yeah. Like it's enough to ask. Okay, I think this is a worthy point to check in with the villain's power. Like, that should be a feature that we have. What powers does the villain have in this episode?
Well, obviously mind control of some sort.
Of some
or
sort.
casting a spell,
Yeah.
which I'm okay with, whatever.
Well, he can't just control anybody's mind, or else he'd be controlling Doggett's mind.
Well, not necessarily, because I think this is obviously a game. This is his move. His play was that he set this up and he wants to play it out.
Yeah.
So I don't believe he would affect the minds of the agents because he wants to win the game. Whatever.
My
question
and I know
is, yeah, go ahead.
I know he says at the end, the game's over, you lost, or whatever. Like they drag in the game motif at the end, but it's not constant through. Like they have two big scenes between Robert Patrick and James Remar. This is the second one, where it's about him goading Doggett, sort of taunting him with the fact that he's not Mulder, taunting him with the fact that he's not suited for the X-Files. But in both of those, there is a prime opportunity for us to learn that Kobold has a fetish for the game, that he's using this as a means, but it doesn't happen. So it almost feels tacked on, the whole game aspect.
Yeah, I would have appreciated Doggett outsmarting him in something
Yes.
small that he wasn't anticipating, or some interaction between them that implied he's making moves or something. That would have been kind of cool. As for the scene itself, I'm okay with it. I like it. And I really do think Spotnitz effectively used the camera in this one. He does a slight and subtle dolly zoom on Doggett every time he's on screen.
That,
Very subtle, very impactful. I really like that. It's like you can feel the tension and he's about to blow, which he does. So
yeah, it's good stuff.
Good stuff.
Well, we're going to cut to Scully checking out Kobold in the infirmary. Scully confirms that physically he's fine, and Doggett confirms he tried to draw out the truth from Kobold, but Reyes can't explain the phenomenon she's seen, including the voices they heard or the orange goo. But Doggett sticks to his guns. It's a trick. Scully suggests they need to let it play out to see how well Kobold plays it. Doggett explodes. Kobold is playing them, and they're letting themselves be played. All right, so I guess here are our game's motifs. I didn't expect that, but here they are. The scene ends with Doggett returning to watch Kobold through the window of his cell, Kobold motionless by the window. The scene fades to nighttime as Officer Custer reads a magazine. American Ronin. Do you remember where we saw that before?
I did. I was wondering if you'd noticed that. Good old Pusher.
Good old Pusher. I was even wondering if it was the same magazine.
It is. Well, maybe not the exact same one. But.
Well, that's just it. Somebody reached in the props box and found the magazine. And we're like, oh, this would be a fun little thing. Well, there's ominous thunder and lightning as Custer hears the ethereal voices. He gets up to investigate, going to Kobold's room, where he sees Kobold standing eerily, silhouetted by the lightning. And after a flash, we see that Kobold's face is now a demonic mask. So is this part of the superpower? Or I think this is POV Custer seeing a hallucination. That's my take on it. I don't really believe that he can transmutate, although the vomit production suggests that he's got some kind of physical powers. I really cannot figure this guy out.
It does get a little muddy here. Actually, along with the vomiting. Going back to superpowers or powers in general, I think the fact that Kobold can do that is a little too much. I don't know.
Well, it starts for me. It starts with the ethereal voices. Like,
it's very. How the hell are you doing that? Yeah.
How are you manifesting that? Why isn't a team of scientists now there to study this amazing phenomenon? Akin to the Coriolis effect being reversed in Die Die Verlitz, but not the same, obviously. They don't care. They don't care here at Chespin Mental Hospital. But there it is. There we are. It's a mishmash of powers. Like, he can clearly persuade or possess the weak-minded or somebody that he's able to influence.
And I'm fine with that. It's just the unfortunate side of this is that Spotnitz is throwing in absolutely every aspect that he can think of about satanic rituals to make it a more compelling episode.
I think you're absolutely right. Yeah.
I think it's just hindering it by being too broad. I think he needs to hone it down to a few special instances or possibilities. I think the masks or whatever, if you want to go that route, him being able to control people, that's fine. But throwing in the vomit and throwing in all the voices, and it gets a little too much.
I think they should have had him play a completely normal character. And maybe the problem there is it becomes Hannibal Lecter-like. Like he's affecting a weirdo so that it's a very much James Remar creation, like it's unique to the script. But the thing that bothers me is that he is playing weird and Doggett is seeing right through it. And I would have liked it better as an episode if the agents are put in a place where they are trying to draw out the information from Kobold. And Kobold's like, I don't have to tell you anything. But, he'll dangle some breadcrumbs and that will let the plot evolve. And at the end of the day, we realize, oh, damn, he was so smart. He was playing them the entire time. That would have been way more interesting to me than this patchwork of powers, abilities, and character notes where I'm like, I really don't know who this villain is or the motivation other than he wants to get out. And I feel like there are probably, again, way more easier ways for him to use his powers to escape. So, So, convoluted for the sake of being convoluted is kind of what the episode's feeling like.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's get to the end here. We're cut to a cell phone ringing as Scully is driving. She's on her way back to DC as Doggett and Reyes walk through the hospital. Doggett reveals that Kobold told Custer where Dr. Richmond can be found, a place called Happy Landing. Turns out that Scully knows it. It's an old marina, and she passes it every day on her way home. In fact, conveniently, she's almost there now. Doggett agrees, and they will meet there. We see the road sign for Happy Landing Harbor as Scully's car pulls up to a dimly lit scene. She gets out of her car, the music telling us that something bad is going to happen, and she walks around a creaky wharf with her gun drawn. But no one is about. She stops, hearing other footsteps on the creaky wharf, and turns around, but no one is there. Somehow, Richmond is behind her, despite her having seen both directions. Anyway, he blindsides her as we crash cut to commercial. So, Richmond was invisible?
I'm not going to read too much into that. I'm going to read that as typical Hollywood trope. I don't believe he was. I don't believe he was invisible.
Well,
it'd just be another thing.
Yeah, it would, and that's my problem. But it feels either it's one of two things. Either it is that there is a power, an invisibility, or a way for him to hide in plain sight, because she hears his footsteps creaking on the wharf. She's been making the creaky noises as she's walked, and then she stops walking, and she hears the creaky.
Killing me.
So either he's invisible or it's shoddy camera work. It's like, because she's walking one direction, she turns around and see behind her, and then she turns around and he's there, and it's like, what, you didn't see him coming?
Yeah.
So
yeah, she. I'm just gonna chalk it up to the mysterious appearing or disappearing of unimportant character for affecting the scene.
Well, as we know, that is a thing in the show, so it totally checks out. On board. We come back from commercial with a fleet of police cars arriving, lights and sirens blaring. Scully is nowhere to be found. Doggett turns to Kobold, who they've brought along for the ride for some reason, threatening him to reveal where Scully is. But Kobold can only reveal that they're too late. They've lost. Suddenly, a gunshot is heard in the distance. The agents rush away, leaving Kobold in the custody of Officer Custer with a very long linger on Custer. Reyes and Doggett come to a halt, seeing a collection of police officers gathered around the body of Dr. Richmond. Scully is just fine. She's nearby. Richmond held her at gunpoint until just now, but she doesn't know why. But Doggett knows. He rushes back to the car containing Kobold, and when he arrives, he sees a figure running away. Doggett pulls his gun, shouting a warning, but the figure doesn't stop. Doggett puts a bullet in the figure's back, and the figure falls off the wharf, disappearing into the water. So we crossfade to Scully, teaching at the Academy on the subject of uncertainty. Some doubts will always remain in an investigation. Rarely will you encounter a case where all of the open questions are fully answered. The bell rings, and every student immediately leaves. Rude. Reyes and Doggett come down the stairs to wrap up the Kobold case. And before I just roll the clip, because frankly it's so convoluted, I'm not even going to bother to try explaining it. Did you want to comment on our exciting action sequence before we go to the end?
I'm okay with it. We get to the lecture hall, and they're going to explain it. They're going to go through everything, and
yes.
Doggett will prove himself right. I'm okay with the agents believing that he killed Kobold and he fell in the water. I'm okay with the action scene, if that's your question.
That's my question, yeah.
Run-of-the-mill X-Files. I wouldn't say it's bad or good. I would just say it's what it needs to be for the episode. So once we get to the explanation, things go, you kind of reel it back and go, huh.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's like, so first of all, at this point in the episode, and I'm asking you to think back to first watch, when you hadn't seen it before, did you know that I knew at this point, that's not, that's Custer, who has done a costume swap with Kobold, and Kobold is getting away somewhere. And was that where your head was, or were you surprised at the end?
I figured that Cobalt was not going to just get shot in the back because it doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
Okay, we've got this episode, big build up, dead and in the water.
Yeah.
The first time viewing Mike, I was like, something's wrong. I think the bad guy's going to win here. So let's see how it plays out.
That's right. Well, that's been the watchword of the entire episode is let's see how it plays out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to just let the rest of the episode play out because, I don't know.
Have you filed your report on this case yet?
I was gonna do it on my way home.
We'd rather you didn't.
We haven't accounted for Cobalt's actions. Not all of them.
But Agent Reyes told me that Cobalt accessed information about all of us over the internet. About Mulder, too.
Well, that explains how he knew we'd respond to the first killings. Why he staged them to look like satanic ritual to make sure that we would.
He wanted us on the case. We know that.
He bent everyone to think and do whatever he wanted.
But we know all this already. It was a game. Every move was played out perfectly. Except the last one.
Not unless that was part of the game, too.
What, to get shot in the back?
No. Cobalt's body still hasn't been found.
Cobalt's dead. Agent Doggett shot him. We all saw that.
Did we? Back to Agent Reyes' question. Why didn't Cobalt escape with the others when he had the chance? Why? Because he wanted to escape without anyone knowing that he'd escaped. So that by the time it was discovered, he'd be too far away for anyone to find him.
Satan.
Daemonicus. Beginning and end of our case. A snake eating its own tail. We lost. Cobalt told me so. He wanted us to see how brilliantly he played the game. How thoroughly we lost. The first victims, Darren and Evelyn Mountjoy.
Chosen from the phone book. For what reason?
No reason, other than the names.
And the third victim?
The doctor, Monique Sampson. And the last, the man whose body is at the bottom of that river.
It's not Cobalt.
The guard we assigned him. The guard he knew he'd have once we transferred him.
Custer.
Checkmate.
We've got DAM for Darren and Evelyn Mountjoy, Moni for Monique Sampson, and Cuss for Custer. We have a bit more play between Scully and Reyes as Doggett walks away. She notes that not only did Reyes feel the presence of evil, but she's pretty sure Doggett felt it too. And we cut to our mystery clouds rushing across the sky as somewhere Joseph Kobold sharpens his shears to start a new garden. And that, my friend, is this episode. Yeah, we need to talk about that last scene.
Yeah, so first of all, I'm just going to poke fun at the slapdash job that Kobold did just making the names work for letters.
Yes.
Just there's no rhyme or reason as to what parts of names he's using, but that's fine.
if his doctor's name was Francesca, he would have been up a creek.
Yes. But luckily it worked out for him.
It all worked out together. Yes.
Worked out for him. How do you feel, Andrew? I sense some confusion with the explanation of this episode.
You know, when somebody tells you a joke and you don't get it and they have to explain the joke?
Yeah.
Does that make the joke funny?
Well, it definitely doesn't make it good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably my issue here is that Spotnitz didn't really trust the audience to get it, so much so that he needed to unpack it in 2.5 minutes.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you bring up the monologues, voiceovers of Mulder at the end of an episode or Scully. I can agree with that. This one, I don't want to say it should have been a two-parter because I don't think there's enough material, but I think they could have done something to it to make it a little bulkier to make it something the audience had a chance of dissecting. We had no chance of dissecting that until Doggett explains it. And then we're like, oh,
thank you. Yeah.
It all does make sense as far as it goes once he explains it. But then it's like, okay, you lose out as an audience member to join in on the game and figure it out, which I think would have been a really cool aspect of the episode.
If they could have got here, but they're also hampered by the fact that their writer's room does not really trust the audience to handle advanced plots. Like, they dumb down a lot of stuff. Oh,
absolutely. And that's, par for the course for the 90s and early 2000s, I think.
Yeah.
It's not until you get to, I'm not going to give all the credit to Sopranos, but the golden age of television where things take a turn in dramas and they start taking a lot of chances, and the twisting and turning of stories, or God, just fucking save me from the multiverse shit that we have been inundated with. But there's a turn in the early 2000s in television and cinema where
it's less episodic.
They start to entrust that the audience is going to stick with it, and there will be a payoff. This obviously being Monster of the Week, they didn't have the resources to draw it out, which is unfortunate because I think the episode could have been really good. And I don't hate it, that being said. We're in final thoughts territory. I actually enjoy the episode, but it's just a little over the top in terms of satanic powers or powers in general. And then the beating over the head of the game aspect. I get it. That's a big part of it, but and I say that after having just said, I wish I could be part of the game, but I think there's a way to do it that's not
absolutely
hitting you over the head with a bat and allowing you to take part in the game that is obviously so ingrained in the episode. So I think it fell short on immersiveness, but I do enjoy what the episode was trying to do. So,
well, you talk about the audience being involved in the game. I would have liked our agents to have been involved in the game.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
This is also something that better episodes have done well, and this and other episodes sometimes do poorly, and that is they are FBI agents and they have a lot of tools at their disposal. And the script in this case completely ignores that. Like all they have is lights and sirens reacting to stuff when the bad guys are always one step ahead. And that's fine if your conceit is this guy has planned it out so brilliantly that there's no resources which are going to allow you to stop the crimes before they happen. Yeah. So in that sense, the Reyes Scully's strategy of we just got to let this play out and hope that he screws up is probably valid, except that there's going to be a body count at the end of the day.
Right.
That's
you're
unfortunate.
Putting blood on your hands.
Basically
just saying, let it happen.
And that's rightfully where Doggett lands, saying, no, I refuse, because that is not an acceptable answer. He is at the heart of this. I don't know how he's doing it, but he is. We can't just let him do this. So I got a bit of an issue there.
And that's part of where the bulk of the episode, the addition of some scenes, add some fat to the bone, where this feels like very much episode starts on Monday and we end on Wednesday or something like that. It's so fast that as FBI agents, I feel like they would have had time to do their own investigation into Cobalt and maybe come up with some ideas as to how to approach this a little bit better. But
yeah, I mean, it happens like this because it's been written to happen like this. I mean, that is, I think a stronger screenwriter makes it a more believable script. Like when you're watching it and you go, I could actually see this happening, or you're drawn in so much that you're not having script questions. You're not going, what if, or why is this happening? I mean, that's the sign of a script where it's just so locked into itself that it's easy to sort of get to this point where I don't really believe what's happening, or this is kind of, it wasn't satisfying in a lot of ways. Whereas a better script, they find a way to explain it. They find a way to draw you in. You believe these characters are doing their best, and yet they can still fail. I don't mind that the bad guy gets away. It's a cool twist because it rarely actually happens. I'm happy that they don't have an epilogue where we see him, putting a spade in the ground.
Sharpening knife. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Lighting up a
Comes up
cigarette.
bloody.
Yeah. So thank you for not going there. But
Well, yeah. And maybe to the episode's discredit, maybe it was a one-off joke or a fan service thing. They put the Ronin magazine in there.
yeah.
And the episode's kind of sort of been done in a less game way, but still, quote unquote, they call it a game in Pusher, where
Right.
he's toying with the agents. He's making people do one thing, getting people to react to it. It's not like this overarching game he's created. He's not created a plot for people to literally follow, and he laughs as they lose the game. But I think that may have drawn unfair comparisons to Pusher.
I didn't see enough of Pusher in this episode, though.
No.
Frankly, it is, of course, a much better episode,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a very different direction.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly the satanic angle takes it in a completely different thing.
Absolutely.
Like, he seems to have a satanic power to do what he's doing, whereas Pusher was very much, it's just telepathy. It's just telepathy.
Right.
I hadn't really thought about the comparison between Pusher. I mean, obviously they did have that there. I thought that was just a lark. I didn't really sort of see them nodding very much towards Pusher.
I think it was twofold. I think it was a fan service thing, but also, I mean, this is literally another episode about a man who can control people to do what he's telling them to do.
Right.
So there is an undeniable comparison there.
Okay. That's fair.
While it is a very different episode, the themes of it are very different. It's almost like as the X-Files fan, you're like, well, why would you reference a clearly better episode in this?
Mm-hmm.
And not that he's writing a bad episode or an episode to be bad or something he knows is not going to live up to whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, no one sets out to do that. And again, I think he's got the pieces here of a good episode. I just think it should have been fleshed out, maybe possibly into a two-parter, just to allow us to kind of engage with it a little bit more. And the agents. So
they could have done it. I mean, James Remar is an actor you want to use, right?
Yeah.
It would have been better if they had spread it out a bit more. And if they had made him a different character. Again, I didn't like the way they chose to make him freaky.
Mm-hmm.
I get probably why they did. I don't think it was a great choice. Yeah, I mean, to me, it was a standard Monster of the Week. It was good, wasn't great. It had a few good moments. I'll give it that. And I do like Doggett's rugged personality of just, no, I'm going to stick my guns here because you guys are chasing the clouds in a way that doesn't make sense. But the problem is that it's this carefully, meticulously planned escape story where everything has to happen a certain way, and it does because the script allows it to, and you can see it. You can literally see it happening in the script. And so it really doesn't matter what the characters do because they just have to wait it out until the plot allows them to get to a point, and then they all can mope around going, oh, I guess he got us. But the better episodes make us believe that there is some agency, that there is they do things that allow them to put their hand on the scales, but that's not here. It's not what we see here.
Well, fair enough, sir.
I think that is probably it for Daemonicus. So Mike, I'm going to give you our final word on this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, always look at your letters, look at the board, see what's been played, and never, ever miss an opportunity to use those bonus tiles. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you liked what you heard, please rate and review on your podcast app of choice. Andrew and I would be eternally grateful to you fine people for helping us expand and get the word out. Also, we've got a killer group on Facebook. Feel free to join in on the discussion at facebook.com/groups/thisisnothappeningpod and become an official member of the syndicate. We do polls and we have questions for every episode to give you guys the opportunity to chime in and possibly let your voice be heard on our recordings. And please join us on our new Twitter at tinhxfilespod, no dash. to stay up to date on everything, moment to moment. Thank you, and remember, don't stop swimming.
Okay, well, for your use, assuming you do drop in that, I'm gonna give you 2 reactions, and you can choose the one that makes the most sense. Okay, so here's the first one. The first one is, wow, listening to that, Mike, you're absolutely right. There is a noticeable difference between the two. That's really interesting. I wish I had sort of paid attention to that. The other one, just in case you're off your rocker, I don't know, Mike. I don't really hear a difference between the two. So I think what you're hearing is just on your end, maybe Mike, between your ears.
You're on crack, Mike.
Okay.
All right.